Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
We're waiting.
Hello, and welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We're a weekly podcast, and today we are talking about video games. I am your host, John Harris, and I am joined by three other All-Stars. First one being Jake Boston.
Totally awesome video games.
Brent Harris.
Fast trouble time.
And Andy Guild.
I'm just happy to be here, John.
Hey, I'm glad you're here, Andy. It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming back. We have a great
Welcome.
episode for you today. A lot of stuff has happened in the news since we've met last on video games. A lot of games have come out that we're going to go over. And then we're going to talk about the Game Award nominees that were announced earlier this week. And we're going to play a little wager game with that. And as always, we're going to end with some video game trivia. But first, guys, how's everyone doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't believe Brent didn't open up his soda before we started the podcast.
Dun, dun, dun. Come on, Brent, man.
Is it going to be loud?
Amateur move.
I wish you would have done it like right in front of the microphone, so don't keep everyone guessing whether or not it's
Jesus.
open.
What's that? Mountain Dew Cool Mist?
Voltage.
Voltage.
Mountain Dew voltage.
How appropriate for a gaming podcast. Maybe you should get some Game Fuel next time.
I was just thinking that.
do they still make Game Fuel?
Yeah, they do. I
it-
saw like a yellow and blue one.
Oh, man.
Still have Master Chief on it.
I hope so.
Is that
That'd be-
2005 for us?
I don't know.
It's got to be Call of Duty, right?
You would think so, yeah.
In today's world,
I have no idea.
Halo Wars on there.
that's probably the best they can do at this point.
So we haven't done like a gaming podcast since Odyssey, right?
Since Odyssey.
It's been 2 weeks.
There hasn't been much in the news other than Odyssey, man. There's been a few things we'll dive into, but yeah. Any of you guys played anything other than Odyssey since we've talked?
I played a mobile game.
Oh, yeah.
South Park Phone Destroyer.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few people play that. How is that?
It's pretty damn fun.
There it is.
Exactly.
Sick.
Oh, so you're playing it too now, Brent?
I am.
What do you think?
It's okay.
Just okay?
Just okay.
I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, it's interesting and it's unique, but it's not as fun as I thought it'd be.
See, it's way better than like some of the other mobile games that I've been addicted to. Like
Better-
it's half card collecting, half like not real based strategy type thing.
Real time strategy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have to make a decision between like the 5 cards that you get in each match.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to Simpsons Tapped Out or Family Guy Quest for Everything? How's it stack?
Simpsons Tapped Out, it's more like
Farmville.
Yes, Farmville, Sims, stuff like that.
But as
where-
far as
Yeah.
like addiction, because those games were addicting.
Yeah. I can see myself playing this game way longer than either of those. Animation Domination was just like all card collecting, and then that got
I forgot about that.
that got old fast.
Yeah.
Sure.
Simpsons Tapped Out, it was just like microtransactions up the ass.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one I can just see you like keep on playing. The story's actually pretty decent too. They have like it's kind of like a mini episode in here.
Right.
So
Andy, last time we talked to you, you were attempting to touch Diablo 3?
Yeah, actually.
How's that going?
So
Did you say Diablo 3?
Diablo.
Diablo?
That's how they say it south of the border, Brent.
You got one of them Diablos.
Actually, so they do these seasons now. I guess they've been doing it for a while. They're on 12. But there's a season where you start over a fresh character. You don't have any Paragon levels or any gear, anything like that. And you can just play through fresh from like level 1
Yeah.
and go through. And so I've been doing that. It's been fun. It went pretty quick. I'm already at Paragon 200.
holy shit!
Which
That's pretty quick.
It doesn't take
The
that
first
long.
200 are really easy.
Well, okay, so when I played through Diablo 3 the first time, and the only time, I beat the one-player mode. You go through, you play the story, whatever. But after that, it's like a completely different game. I'm playing a barbarian with whirlwind, so
Nice.
I hold down on my mouse button and I move around
Yeah.
and I'm spinning and I'm just killing everything. Like
Yeah.
there's sparks coming out of me and like everything's just dying and you just feel like you're so powerful. You're like, I'm gonna just kill everything.
It's part of the
Oh, it's
Diablo
great.
thing is to start new characters? Is that a thing?
Can you stop saying Diablo?
Please don't do that
You
anymore.
one of them Diablos.
It's just John's Cajun accent. That's like his thing.
On a totally different note, I've been playing, continue to play Odyssey. I got into Mario Party 3DS, the
Oh,
top
the
top
first
100.
100, yeah.
That one's really I know the concept is very straightforward. You play the top 100 games. There's small mini maps, and there's some competitive modes that you can just pick and choose what games you want to fight, and choose these players up to the hardest level, and just have a duke out with some robots, and it's fun. It's definitely fun.
Are you pissed that it's not on the Switch?
No, I'm fine with the 3DS, and
So you like playing Mario Party by yourself?
yeah, sure, I'm okay with that.
Oh man,
It's Mario sad person alone. Not even a party.
All right, that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the gaming news. The first one is GameStop announced and then quickly dismissed a rental program called Power Pass, a $60 used game rental service that allows players to rent a used game, return it, pick another title, then after the 6-month subscription is over, they can pick one of those games they rented and keep it for good. This was a new concept I think GameStop had developed, but apparently there was something wrong because they already suspended it before it even launched.
I know what that something is.
What's that?
Their computers suck. Like they don't have the capacity to have like a rental program inside of them.
That seems like the most practical sense to me.
Yeah, no, it's so shitty. Like you go there, they don't even have flat screen monitors.
Yeah, they
Oh,
have those
yeah.
old CRT things.
Uh-huh.
And then I was thinking this just seems like a logistical nightmare.
It
like
does.
You're trying to keep track of everybody's games they have out. Like you would need a whole like how like Family Video and like video rental places have their own separate system to keep track of
What are those?
like rentals and stuff.
What are physical rental?
Oh, sorry. You know, I'm from the old school where we had to walk into the cassette store.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't see this being very lucrative. I don't see many players taking. Maybe some players take advantage of this program if it comes to fruition.
See, I don't think it's supposed to be lucrative for them. I think it's just to get more people into fucking GameStop. Because you pay $60 for 6 months, and you can just be like a rental plan. Once those 6 months are done, you can just keep the game afterwards.
Do you
But like maybe they're in there and they see something that they like, they'll probably buy some of those like weird ass like, oh, here's a question block mug. I'm gonna drink out of this. Or board game about Rick and Morty.
Right.
Fucking, I'll buy this shit.
Yeah.
So if this plan does come back around, do you see it being successful for GameStop?
I don't know what can save GameStop at this point because honestly, by the time we get to the next gaming generation, like I don't think there's going to be a lot of physical copies of things coming out, and if they do, they'll be like collector's editions and
Right.
things for like completionist collectors, whatever.
Yeah, this seems like a very desperate move. Like I remember when they started bringing out a whole bunch of like gift cards or digital downloads. Why would you go to? Why would you go to GameStop to buy a digital download? That makes no sense
Yeah,
to me.
it's super weird. Like you buy a card that you can plug into your PSN, and you're like, oh, you can download it now for the same price.
They're just trying to figure out something that sticks, and I don't know if anything's ever going to.
All right, so we'll see how that plan turns out for GameStop maybe the next month or so. Next story is a continuous one that we've been covering here at SMAS, and that is the EA Star Wars Battlefront scandal. A lot has happened already since the last time we talked about this. The first one being that this game came like in a beta, and then people responded and say, wow, it takes way too much credits to get a hero. And then it was cut down like 75% a week before launch, which is today. And then today, literally, they cut all microtransactions related to heroes, villains, and all this together.
Which is so crazy.
I wonder
this
why.
is one of my favorite news stories of probably the year. I think it's so funny. It's so pathetic. So they did you see the Reddit post?
I did see the Reddit post.
Where they were trying to justify what they were doing, and they said players feel a sense of satisfaction when they unlock Darth Vader or Luke or whatever.
Right.
And then they're like, well, it takes 40 hours to unlock either of them on average. So
because somebody did that math, right?
yeah, like since they put out the beta version, people could do the math on how many credits you earn. And it wasn't based on like if you do well in the game, it was based on just the time you play. So playing a match where you do extremely well and win, you basically get the same amount of credits as if you just get stomped or sit AFK and do nothing.
But
Right.
wasn't that Reddit post like the most downvoted post in Reddit history?
Yeah,
I
it
think that's
was.
what I read.
I think it hit negative 600,000.
that's
Jesus.
so ridiculous.
And I heard like compared to other downvotes, the other ones that were close to it were like Hitler ones and like
Yeah.
Call of Duty ones.
Well, the second place one was just a post that said, "Please downvote this."
The EA trying to justify themselves was more hated than somebody just asking you, please
Yeah, I
please
know.
downvote me.
Right. So that being said, Star Wars Battlefront launched today, and people, people were actually responded to buying this game by some of us not buying it. And you ran some numbers, or came across some numbers that
Yeah, I
suggested
was-
EA might have been in trouble.
Yeah, I was okay. So I was reading an article. I think it was published by Polygon, where they got a quote from an EA executive who said they predicted that they lost just from this PR fiasco between 2.5 and 3 million copies of the game
What?
sold. Like that they were going to sell 3 million less copies because of all this crap, which is like
Why
what
would
did I
you-
say, $180,000 in sales plus now they lose whatever they would have made on the microtransactions
Yeah.
because they just took them out of the game.
Well, this is
It's insane.
It's a stage that they've set themselves.
Yeah,
There's
No, it's their
you
fault
can't feel
completely.
bad for them.
I
Yeah,
know.
but they had a lot of good PR going into this week because
Yeah.
they were like they don't have any DLC that they're charging money for.
Right.
So now they're just not charging money for anything besides the game.
Yeah,
Do they still do loot crates in this then?
yeah,
or
they
no?
do. So
they do.
the problem with the game now is that they just removed the pay to or the microtransactions. So while you're playing through the game, it's like Overwatch, where every time you hit a milestone or level or whatever, they give you points or a loot crate to get a random chance at getting some things. So the problem now is that when you open these loot crates, the lucky 5% of players are going to have better star cards. That's like how you power up your characters.
Yeah, it's like mats.
Yeah, and so whoever gets the best star cards, they dominate multiplayer.
Which that's people who are trying to avoid that in the first place. They're
Yeah,
trying
which
to
is
create
stupid.
an even playing field.
Would you rather have it luck based or money based though? Like that's the thing.
I'd rather they just take the star cards out and I can just play on an even field with like my stormtrooper shouldn't be like have plus 100 damage over this guy
Yeah.
who's got like plus 600
and we discussed this
armor.
before,
should-
but
It
ahead.
should be experience in the game that levels up your gear, and then it should be for cosmetic should be the luck, like Overwatch is.
Or even
Which you can pay for boxes to get the cosmetic boxes, which is
Yeah.
still random.
And plus, like, so if you have a game where it's third person, like Battlefront, you could put skins in there and have it be.
Yeah,
like,
because
have it be
people actually
more-
get to see or you actually see your own character, so it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't understand how they kind of tried to copy the Overwatch model and they failed so badly. I just don't understand how you can have a company who's doing the exact thing you want to do, making a shitload of money doing it, and then you say, let's just do that, but completely screw it up and make people reliant on spending money.
well,
It's
that
insane.
kind of begs the question. Like they responded to this very quickly in this week alone.
They
But
responded to it 4 different times.
right. Well, that being said, like they were very quick to respond. But it makes you wonder if like they had foreseen this as a possibility, and like they made like if this happens, we'll just cut this out altogether.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, so there were some people pessimistically on Reddit saying like, well, they purposefully said they were going to have the 40-hour unlock time for these things so that they could roll it back, and they always planned on rolling it back to get some goodwill, and they think maybe they did that on purpose, and then
See, that's what
backfired.
that's what initially I was thinking. But like that's a risk.
Yeah, why would you put negative PR out there in the first
Yeah,
place?
like it seems weird. Well, I don't think the guy who originally said that players would feel a sense of satisfaction for unlocking stuff. I feel bad for that guy because he probably got fired, and there's nothing like he did a pretty good job trying to calm it down.
Yeah.
He's just hiding in a hole somewhere.
Yeah, he's
To EA's benefit, I think Battlefront's still going to do just fine as far as numbers and sales. I still think it'll be okay.
But now I feel like it's not even going to sell as much as the first one.
no, I doubt it.
I don't know. We'll find out. I guess give it a month.
If pre-order people who bought it and now have it,
That's the other thing. You just remember that pre-order word. They made a point like a week or two ago to remove digital pre-orders because people were trying to cancel them.
Yeah.
and they took away that option.
Their website removed
Jesus.
there was like a button you could cancel your pre-order quick and easy, but people, and I'm pretty sure the reason they took the microtransactions out was because people were sitting on the phone to cancel their pre-order, and even though they made it so hard to do that.
How's
they
that
were
even
still doing
legal
it.
to like not make
Yeah,
it
it's-
easy to cancel?
It is
Well,
super weird.
EA tried to make him go through a maze because it's online. You can just go click a button, but they took that button away and they said if you want to cancel your pre-order, call them, and it ends up this call program is a disaster. So EA probably just
Yeah.
figured, like, man, this is too much for us.
For me, I'm kind of like I'm on the boat where I'm okay with just boycotting EA until they fix some of this stuff because like
Well, that begs the next question: like, does EA learn from this?
you're gonna get to the
Clearly
point
not.
where you buy the next Madden and you have to play as Brett Hundley for 40 hours before you get Aaron Rodgers. Like, come on.
EA will never learn a lesson. They're
No.
too big.
No,
They're
yeah.
too big to learn.
But I can't think of an EA game that has caused this much drama.
That's because this has the biggest following.
Yeah, this
It's
one
Star
people
Wars.
were really
Yeah,
excited, and it lined up with The Last Jedi coming out pretty soon, so people
I mean,
were pretty
like
hyped.
like FIFA and the sports games, but they have a big following. But it's the same game, just graphically a little bit better.
the
and
same
then-
people buy them
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
and over again.
But
Yeah.
after a year of E3, they probably walked away with a positive note. But since then, it's just been a downward
Right, because
roll.
whenever EA goes on the back foot, they're dicks about it.
The more they've showed people about this game where players could get hands-on and really figure out the progression system, the worse it got for them.
We'll dive into how that game got reviewed later, but for the time we could probably have a whole episode on EA scandals, but we'll wrap that up for now.
Moving along.
On some good news, the creators behind Cuphead confirmed that we'll see these guys come back, which is awesome. Good to hear. And not only that, they're going to keep the hand-drawing aesthetic to their future Cuphead or other properties, which is just good to hear because Cuphead did really well.
Like I feel like it's two reasons this game did well, and that was one of them.
Yeah, what? It sold 1 million copies in the first week.
Yeah,
Right.
Correct.
Along the lines of Xbox One X sales came in for the UK. The first week looked really good. 80,000 units were sold, and we don't have much else to compare it to other than the PS4 Pro, which it took 4 weeks for the PS4 Pro to sell 80,000 in the UK. It only signifies that the Xbox One is doing really well because PS4 is kind of regarded as a European hotspot. And the fact that X is doing well is a good sign for the X, but we don't have U.S. numbers or Japan numbers, so we'll have to see how that pans out. All right, and then our last segment for the news is a lot of game releases that came out between now and our last video game episode. And we're just going to go down the list here. If you guys want to chime in at any point, feel free to. All right, the first one being Horizon Zero Dawn came out November 7th, and this is a DLC to obviously the main game. And then I'm not good with Horizon, not familiar with it, but it's getting decent reviews. And people who played Horizon are more likely going to enjoy this.
I know some people that like Horizon more than Breath of the Wild.
Those people couldn't get a Switch on release day.
I guess not.
That's my theory. I told you guys I played both of them. I couldn't get into Horizon. But it's up for Game of the Year. It's a good game. I mean, this should be good. The expansion, I guess.
Right? We talked
Yeah.
about it before, but it just looks like a different setting, but same Horizon gameplay. So good there. First note, Sonic Forces also came out November 7th, and this game is not looking good,
But you can create your own character.
which apparently didn't help because it came out November 7th,
You
and I
think
heard
it would if you've been on DeviantArt and searched for Sonic. Like, there's some sick, fucked up people out there, John.
But you can't add a
Yeah.
penis. If you could add a penis or a vagina, let's be selling gangbusters.
Haven't they done this before in a different game where you could kind of customize your?
This is the first.
Could you customize Chow and like Sonic
You think you
Adventure
have
1?
MS
Who cares about
Paint.
chows?
Andy did back in the day.
I loved Chow's. Don't know. Don't talk shit.
People have been saying they're comparing this to Sonic Adventure 1 or Director's Cut, whatever version you played. Exactly. It's not great. Metacritic is right now currently at a 60 for this game, so yeah, you might want to give it another run, or go back to Sonic Mania. That one was actually worth
Please
playing.
go back to that game.
The world's at peace. I mean, everything seems like it should be. Sonic Forces is bad.
Right. So
Just-
the world
that's-
makes sense.
It's just how it should be.
You know, any game that Sonic Team makes, it's just awful.
Yeah.
It seems to
Just
be.
fucking garbage. Same
Yeah.
garbage over and over again.
Right. Our next game was Need for Speed Payback. This was teased back at E3 and looked very Fast and the Furious, but
This is getting bad reviews.
this
I'm
is
so pissed.
This is tanking. Bad.
Like Need for Speed games, I've played the I didn't play the last one, which is kind of like Need for Speed Underground reboot.
Sure.
But I played not Payback. I played Rivals. Rivals is really good. Burnout Paradise is the best, and it's the same team that made that. I don't know how they can shit the bed this bad. Like, it's a racing
62?
game. Yeah.
62 on Metacritic.
Ooh.
It's a racing game. You shouldn't. I heard like the story is just garbage, and like they changed some things about the cops to where like they're not that easy to get away from like they have been. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
That came out November 10th, and probably it just got lost in the mix. There's so much other things going on right now that I feel like a Need for Speed game is definitely going to get lost in this mix of other games. Our next game is Doom for Switch. Came out November 10th, and this is a port of sorts that came with a single-player campaign. Then multiplayer was separate, but the reviews are looking good for what it essentially is a downgraded version of
Yeah.
the Xbox One, PS4.
It's still $720, but
yeah, it's crazy. This game costs $60.
it's $60
for Switch.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm gonna ask for it for Christmas. I'm not gonna buy it, but
Yeah.
I still want it. I do want to play it.
I watched some side-by-side comparisons, and the downgrade in graphics isn't that significant. Like, it still looks really good.
It's not with any like creatures. It's just with like textures. Like
Right.
you get really close to some objects.
And
Which you wouldn't know unless you put us side-by-side.
Yeah, like when you play stuff like this on the smaller screen, it kind of hides
Yeah.
the like if you're playing in handheld mode, it hides the
Resolution
lower quality.
differences,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Right.
same thing with Skyrim. People have been saying
Sure.
like it on a smaller screen, it looks just as good, maybe better if it's on a small screen. But I wasn't a big fan of Doom when it came out. So.
Wait, did they
Yeah.
implement motion
Skip this
controls
one.
for Skyrim? If like you're doing like you're looking,
I don't know.
where you can like move the Switch up and around.
I would assume so. I think they did some type of motion for Doom.
I have no idea. Our next game will be real quick. That is The Sims 4 got ported to... Oh, sorry. Sims 4 Deluxe Party Edition was ported to the Xbox One and PS4 on November 14th
This is coming out like 3 years after it came out on PC.
after, like, the Sims hype is done.
So fucking weird.
Yeah, so I just threw it on there because it's worth noting. The Metascore on that is 70. Oh, and Doom was 79, so average scores for those games. And then next game that I thought I was going to like it, then press came out, I really didn't like it, was Rime on Switch. Came out November 14th as well. Now it's supposed to be a Zelda-esque kind of a journey walkthrough game, and it ended up not being great. Metascore on that was 64. And then an interesting game came out. We talked about this before. LA Noire made its way for HD and Switch on November 14th.
No boy.
It sucks so hard.
Did it suck? 'Cause
I think it sucks.
I think it has like a niche audience. I think people really, really loved
all
it
right.
or hated it.
I'm not the audience for this game.
Yeah, it's like Kitty Grand Theft Auto with bad detective segments that make no sense.
I'm not a good fan of like the 1920s setting either.
Yeah, it's really like 79 on Metacritic seems really high for this. Like it's just by how polarizing it is.
Sure.
I think it would be closer to 50.
Is this specifically for the Switch version?
No,
Or
this is
in general.
in general.
Okay, because I know when this came out, like people were blown away by like the mocap
Yeah,
that happened in it,
But
and just like it's so weird to play.
yeah, it looks weird, and then the mocap gets glitchy at a bunch of points, so it's kind of goofy. Like you'll
Yeah.
see someone's mouth like open up like twice as wide.
I
as
think that
human
was
can.
refined for this edition
Okay.
because I think this game will probably benefit from an upgrade as far as facial detection goes because that upgrading graphics will help people distinguish when. Because I guess the main feature of the game is to be able to tell when people are lying by their facial
Yeah.
gestures.
Yeah.
Which on last gen could have been a point of controversy if the graphics weren't good.
Well, they were like super exaggerated, and
Yeah.
I liked there was like the believe, doubt, and like lie system. And if you hit doubt, he'd be like, "You're fucking lying to me. You
Yeah.
you fucking
Yeah.
burn the house down. I'm gonna kill you."
You know, there's no neutral.
So hopefully that game gets a better run this time around. Our next game, the one we talked about, was Star Wars Battlefront 2. The score is reaching Metacritic at 79. It came out November 17th, and people are either buying into it and putting the controversy aside. The main thing I took away from the reviews is the campaign ended up not being what we wanted it to be.
Which very much sucks.
Yeah, I guess it was like a 4 to 5 hour campaign, which is to be expected. Mm-hmm. But the main character, who was really highly pushed during E3 and press since, ends up being not that fleshed out, and you end up playing the heroes and villains anyway throughout the campaign.
Yeah,
And her time jumps are I guess you jump year after year, and like is huge time jumps according to her story, and her story falls apart.
so was she involved in like the Clone Wars and the
She was
other stuff in like
she made the first-
normal movies? Normal movies.
well, I guess her time frame takes place from Return of the Jedi all the way up to The Force Awakens.
What?
Yeah.
Pass.
That's like 30 years.
Yeah. So, and I guess her story jumps around in that time period.
And Darth Maul's running around too with
With
robot
6 legs.
yeah.
Turns into a spider.
I hope Grievous comes back. That'd be cool.
I guess that's the only reason I would play that game is for the campaign, and then if the campaign blew it, that's the last straw for me. So that sucks. Our next game was a port for the Switch as well, and that was Skyrim. Came out November 17th with a Metacritic score of 85, and people are actually saying it's fun to pick up Skyrim on the go, which is good to hear because I don't have interest in playing Skyrim again,
No.
but if there's an audience for it on the Switch, please do. Please play it.
I've played it more than enough times.
Yeah.
I don't need to play it again.
Even the Link Breath of the Wild gear is not incentive enough to dive back in.
It looks ugly as hell. Like you put that on some nasty Nord character.
It
It's
looks
like,
bad.
Yeah, it looks like a meth-addled Link.
Can't you just unlock it with an amiibo too?
You can.
So you just like buy the game, play it for 15 minutes, dressed as cosplay Link, and be done.
Right.
And then find better armor, like in some, like dragon's
Dragon bone stuff, yeah.
If for some reason somebody had not played this game prior to the Switch version, I would find that very hard to believe.
Yeah, like if someone hasn't played it, they should pick it up.
Yeah.
For Switch. Like,
Yeah, I know someone that's picking it up because they've never played it.
yeah, see,
That's
cool.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
nuts. I think it's also the same day, November 17th, that it came out on Switch. Also, the VR bundle was announced or came out as well for PlayStation,
Yeah.
which I don't know how Skyrim translates to a VR experience, but it could be cool.
They're also coming out with a Doom VR bundle.
I did see that,
So,
yeah. Which
I think Doom would be funner.
I think so too.
I think Doom would be more intense.
That's why
Well,
I'd make
I
it
think
fun.
like if there was a situation where I did play Skyrim again, it would be if I had wasted a bunch of money on the PSVR.
Sure.
Staring right at you.
No, I see double dipping in VR rather than Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather
Yeah,
be
that'd
more
be cool.
immersed than have it on the go.
So I mean, like if I had bought, like, you're gonna get Skyrim VR, right?
Probably not.
What, you have to, like?
If it gets a huge discount, because I think it's $60 retail.
Of course it is.
Well, yeah.
I'm not paying $60 for a 7-year-old game.
You just paid $500 for a new console.
Yeah. I only have so much money to blow, guys. Come on.
I've seen all your like collector's edition videos. That's a lie.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, and then the last game I'm going to talk about is Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, also dropped today, November 17th, and Metacritic score is 86. People are generally liking it. There was enough changes there and Pokemon for incentive for people to buy this. And I end up picking up the duo pack that came with a sweet steelbook. So that was pretty cool.
I need to see this steelbook. I need to have it in my hands.
It's cool because the legendary Pokemon on the front and back are actually embossed, so it kind of comes out and has like a nice shimmer to it.
Yes.
So
it's weird because it's so small.
it's cool.
I want a Switch steelbook case.
It's coming out for what? Xenoblade next week? Or 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Are you getting that?
No.
You bastard. Gotta get on that. Gotta get that fixed.
God.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to the main portion of our show, and that is going to be the Game Award nominees, and we're going to make a wager game out of it. Just to give you some context to what is the Game Awards. Well, it's an actual ceremony that is held on December 7th, 2017. It's actually going to take place at the Microsoft Theater, and it'll be streaming on all your major streaming services. Guys, jump in at any point here, but this was originally a Spike award ceremony,
I used to watch this every year.
right? Because it's been going on for like the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's been close to 10.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about.
I remember when like Samuel L. Jackson hosted a year.
That's the only one I remember.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird. Joel McHale hosted a year.
And I think that's the year that things turned around because when Joel McHale hosted with Jeff
Keighley. Yeah.
that was probably the worst received video award ceremony because people hated the format.
Yeah, Joel McHale was just like he didn't know anything about video games. Yeah,
Right.
he was talking like he did, and yeah,
It's
it
like
was
they
bad.
had the guy from Silicon Valley did BlizzCon, I think 1 or 2 years ago, and
Okay.
it was the same thing. Everyone just hated him.
Yeah.
Like you've got to get someone in there who knows what they're talking about,
Right.
unless it's Sam Jackson, in which case, but you know,
They switched, like it used to be called like the Spike VGA Awards. Now it's just called the Game Awards because they're trying to make it more like prestigious.
Right.
And last year it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, and this Jeff Keighley,
He's like been in the video game industry forever, like at least 20 years.
I would hope so since he's the one who's kind of manhandling the Game Awards from here on out, essentially, because he's the one who kind of they bring in all these high tier end game developers.
so it's not on Spike anymore.
It's
or
just
is it?
streaming.
So it's like on Twitch.
I think it's, yeah, there's a lot of places you can watch it online.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley
Interesting.
teamed up with somebody to get these awards separate from Spike and to continue this legacy. So it's obviously a big deal, and he considers it, as Jake said, a prestigious thing.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, because I like the idea of it because so like the Oscars give out awards for movies. Why not have like an authority on what the game of the year is instead of having 100 magazines give out game of the
Exactly.
year?
Yeah.
And then every asshole and their mother is putting out a game of the year edition for
Right.
like Fallout 4 game of the year edition. Someone said it.
What I think they're bringing in like Todd Howard, Kojima, and some other bigwigs from the game scene to what came up with these nominees that we'll be going over here shortly.
Yeah.
So the people that he's brought in are definitely worthy of judging.
Well, when this show was on Spike, when it was the VGAs, it was more like the MTV Movie Awards, and now like it's pretty much like the Oscars of video games. So,
Yeah, so I think that works better.
Oh, yeah.
for them.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely does.
Yeah, the way they have the categories set up seems reasonable too.
So do they actually have like the developers and stuff like that show up for the awards to accept it?
yeah, the majority of the time, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they're playing it smart by it's going to continue to be streamed, which is how most of your hardcore gamers are going to be watching this stuff anyway.
yeah.
So I think it's cool. That being said, there was a lot of categories that were announced. I think there was like over 15, and we kind of narrowed it down to the categories that we're going to be most knowledgeable about and contain the games that we either played or know more about as well.
So what is this wager game that we're going to do?
So
you kind of sprung this on us.
I have no idea what's going on.
So there's 4 of us here, and there's I think 13 categories that I chose from the main awards that they're announcing. We're all gonna guess which game we think wins each category,
Okay.
and then whoever has the most points after the ceremony is the winner.
Wait,
what do
is,
we win?
I don't know, bragging rights.
is that what I was writing down? Because I thought you wanted me to write down what my picks were.
Well, I think you can do that. I think if that's a point of contingency where you're between what I think is going to win and what you want to win.
I'm not going to write down Fortnite over PUBG if I'm trying to win a contest.
Well,
Yeah, but you don't win anything in this contest.
Yeah, but I want to rub it in your guys' faces.
All right. Well, since this is actually for nothing, let's stick with what we want, and then whoever wins.
that's fine.
Yeah. I kind of did a mix of both in this, so.
Am I in the minority here that I'm not okay with that? What you just said?
No, I'm gonna go with what I think, rather than what I actually think is going to win.
You could always say, like, this is what I want to win, but this is what will win.
Yeah.
You can always do that.
I'm fine.
That being said, there's be 13 points up for grabs here, and if you either get it right or you don't, so you lose a point if you don't get it at all. We will follow up with the results after the ceremony, December 7th. So on our next game podcast, we'll cover that. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into our first category, and that is best score / music of a game.
Gotcha.
And our nominees are Cuphead, Destiny 2, Nier Automata, Persona 5, Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild.
Isn't it near Automata?
No, it's Automata.
Oh,
It is Automata.
okay.
Yeah. Some of us have played some of these games, some of us have not. Guys, what's your picks?
A lot of pressure.
My heart really wants Cuphead because I love that score,
Good soundtrack,
but
man.
I really think Breath of the Wild's going to get it.
You really think so?
I think so. I mean, I don't know anything about Nier Automata. Persona 5 has weird-ass music. I don't think it would win for music.
Guys, do you agree with me or not? But I don't remember Breath of the Wild soundtrack. I just remember silence in that game. There is a soundtrack.
Go on
Yeah.
go on YouTube and look at some of the tracks. I have it written down. I think it's going to win too
Yeah.
because the tracks in that game are like they're very subtle, but when they do come in, they're beautiful. I love
Yeah,
them.
sure.
You just went to the Zelda orchestra. You don't remember all the new
I,
Breath
I
of the
remember
Wild
I remember
stuff?
I remember the intro for sure.
There was-
Don't get me wrong.
I only caught one song they played from Breath of the Wild at the
Concert?
the orchestra, and that was the main theme.
How can
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can you not remember the Guardian sound?
Yeah.
Holy God!
the
Every time I
Guardian
hear, it, I'm like,
sound-
God.
Okay, but here's compared to what else is on this list. I'm not sure if Breath of the Wild is going to take it.
I was Breath of the Wild as well because it had the biggest impact on my play. So like it was actually memorable for that fact. Like Odyssey has some good sounds or a good soundtrack, but like it didn't do as much for me as Breath of the Wild's did.
Yeah, the way it so there's like that concept of like negative space. Like when they didn't use it, it was almost as effective as when they were using the soundtrack,
Right,
which I thought
sure.
was really kind of pushed it over the edge for me.
Because I just want to I have it stuck in my head
No,
right
I have
now.
I have
You
the Zelda.
fixed it,
I've
so it's
listened to the
subtle.
soundtrack, and it's really good. Don't be wrong.
Yeah.
Like we uploaded it on our YouTube channel, so check it out there.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's good. Don't be wrong. But what I want to win, and I think should win to me, is Persona 5.
I knew you were going to say that. That's probably your game of the year right now.
No,
though.
that game is the soundtrack for that game is so good.
The soundtrack of that game is basically the final song in Mario Odyssey over and over.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I can't tell you anything about the artist or the composer, but those songs I like downloaded because I thought they were so good. I bought the or the collector's edition for this game just for the extended soundtrack. It's so good. This is coming back to me now. The panel votes, and then there's a fan vote that counts for 10% or something.
That is true, yeah.
Up to these totals.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a fan effect here, but at the end of the day, it's still 9% judges.
Yeah, 10% doesn't really matter. It's just to show like, oh, the fans think this. Now let's see what all the judges have to say.
Or to be
Right.
like a tiebreaker. It's kind of how I see it. If there's like a
Right.
split decision.
So final consensus here: 3 votes for Breath of the Wild. I'm for Persona 5. All right, next one is Best Art Direction. We have Cuphead, once again, Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, and Breath of the Wild.
I mean, does really
Everybody-
anybody need to say anything?
Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Cuphead.
What'd you say?
Breath of the Wild.
You're
Hi.
a bitch.
No,
John.
you know what? I'm kind of with you there because
No.
now Breath of the Wild, looking at it as an entire game, it is a piece of art. Like the whole game is art.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. But
I would take a still of any shot in Cuphead and
Yeah.
put it in my game room.
I mean, yeah, like I voted for
That's-
Cuphead because Cuphead, it's so unique.
It is.
I think it just deserves to push it over the edge.
If Cuphead's going to win anything, it's going to be art design.
It has to win art design.
I would hope
Yeah.
so, but I don't know, man. Breath of the Wild just that aesthetic just took me away.
I'm right with you, but I think Cuphead edges it out just because of the process behind it and how innovative it is.
Don't be wrong,
Yeah.
like, Cuphead's right up there.
Yep.
Don't be wrong, like I'm not dissing Cuphead in any way.
It feels like you're dissing Cuphead.
I'm not dissing Cuphead.
Oh, this looks like shit.
I just remember being a long.
It's Breath of the Wild for me, then Persona, then Horizon.
Well, for me, having my
little bit.
long history with Zelda, like Zelda went from like Twilight Princess was very literal, then Skyward Sword was like almost too cartoony. The Breath of the Wild kind of found a happy medium, and like that's worked ever since
Yeah,
for me.
some of the more complex character models in Breath of the Wild are just stunning. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
I'm with you there, but I like I said, I edge Cuphead out.
Like some of the armor sets, like the newest one that came out with amiibos, looked like pieces of art. They're awesome.
Don't talk to me about the armor sets in Breath of the Wild.
All right, so we had 3 votes for Cuphead, 1 vote for Breath of the Wild. All right, let's go on to number 3, and that is best ongoing game. Pretty much being a game of service is another term for this. We have Destiny 2, Grand Theft Auto Online, Overwatch, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Rainbow Six Siege, and Warframe.
No, what you didn't vote for?
Yeah, I've never heard of that game. We got some old games on here. We got some games that are not technically games on here. So
What Player Unknown?
it's not technically a game yet.
Not out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's broken.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah, so
A beta.
Jake, what are you thinking?
This is where I start to get kind of split. Like I don't have like a big answer. Like originally I kind of thought PUBG, but I don't know too much about it. But I think they're gonna give this to GTA Online.
You think so?
Really?
Just because like it's been like the game has been in the top 10 selling for over 2 years now, and it's only because of all the online shit that's happening.
Do you think that's a award they give at this far out, or do you think it should have happened sooner? If it hasn't happened already, I don't know if this has been a category previous.
Yeah, I can't remember if they won this last year or not.
I don't know, but your vote is for GTA.
I think so. I think they're gonna give it to this game just because it's so impressive that 2+ years out, it's still like just chugging up the charts.
Right.
Charts. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. Brent,
Yeah, I was split between GTA Online, Overwatch. Overwatch is just phenomenal. Like everything is like perfect when they release it. It's so polished.
yeah, and my source IGN gave it Game of the Year last year, so that's
Yeah.
major cred.
I think didn't Overwatch win this award show's Game of the Year last year too?
I do believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got Overwatch all the way. Like when I look at an ongoing game, it's like, are they supporting it still? And Overwatch has some of the best ongoing support. They're
Yeah.
still releasing characters, maps,
Yep.
game modes.
And I've only paid what did we pay?
$40.
40.
That's
I've
a
only paid
$40
for it.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've put in so many hours.
So your vote's Overwatch 2, Brent?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'll do Overwatch.
Okay. I was going to go with Overwatch as well, just because I think it's been a good year for Overwatch. And we've had, 3 characters announced this year for Overwatch, if not more?
I think it was 3, yeah.
Yeah.
They all came out this year.
And this year they retouched. They did the same events they did last year, plus more.
Yeah, they keep adding skins
But then
and
they
different stuff to the game.
They revamp it. So even though it's the same thing, they revamp it again, even though it's the same thing. And,
yeah, they don't need to.
and they kill it. Yeah.
Yeah, people would have just played the game mode from last year, like the Halloween mode. They
Right.
would have played it and had fun with it. Lucio Ball.
Plus the
Great.
skins from the previous year are now cheaper, like dirt cheap to
Yeah.
get.
All right, so we had 1 for Grand Theft Auto and 3 for Overwatch there.
Yep.
All right, let's jump to our next category, and this one is I'm probably the least familiar with, but that is Best Handheld Game.
Yep. Me too.
So our nominees here are Ever Oasis, Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, Metroid Samus Returns, Monster Hunter Stories, and Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. Poochie! I know a few of these. I know most of these games, but I've only played 2 of them. I don't know how this stacks at all. Jake, what are your thoughts?
This is a shot in the dark. I'm doing Monster Hunter Stories.
Really?
Yep.
It got a lot of press when it came out,
Yep, sure did.
and it got its own amiibo set.
This is the category I know like nothing about, really.
Yeah.
I'm just going with my gut. My gut tells me Monster Hunter Stories.
I was
It was big in Japan.
Yeah.
I was split between Fire Emblem and Metroid. I thought I have no clue
Well,
about this.
Fire Emblem Echoes is a remaster, essentially, or remake of an old, I think it was like Fire Emblem 2 when that came out. So it modernized it for sure for the 3DS. And I don't think it did well because I kept seeing the collector's editions being cut down in price.
Here.
That's true here.
Yeah.
That's true. So we had 2 Monster Hunter Stories,
Yep.
1 Metroid, and 1 Fire Emblem. That's
what
our
it
most diverse subject yet.
I like it.
All right, number 5, the next category is Best Fighting Game. This one I'm actually pretty excited about. The nominees are ARMS, Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom, Nidhogg 2, and Tekken 7.
Is Nidhogg 2 a fighting game?
I guess. Are they considering it a fighting
What?
game?
It's like one-shot kills. That's like saying Dive Kick is a fighting game.
It is a fighting
That
game.
game is
but
absolutely a fighting
you
game.
wouldn't nominate it for Game of the Year or Fighting Game of the Year.
I would have countless hours.
Nidhogg seems very like bottom of the tier for budget here compared to these fighting games.
I don't know if you remember this, but we played the original Nidhogg.
I remember that. I do remember that.
I would not count that as a fighting
No.
game. I don't know what I would count it as, but not a fighting game.
So I played some Injustice 2. We played ARMS. I know Tekken 7 was really well received, and I feel like Marvel vs. Capcom got lost at a bad time. Jake, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm going to go with my gut again. I think I'm in between Tekken and Injustice,
Me too.
and I'm going for Injustice. I think it's just the more popular title.
It's a fun game.
It's very fun, yeah.
And the campaign for that is short, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
Good campaign.
It's a solid game.
Yep. I was Injustice 2 as well.
Yeah, I wrote down Injustice just because I don't think any of the others have that level of polish.
Yeah.
See, I thought that way about my vote was for Tekken 7.
Okay.
I know
that-
nothing about Tekken, so
Yeah, I know either, but the few times I've played Tekken, I feel like it's a more strategized fighting game, which I feel like
It's more technical for sure.
yeah, and I feel like
Yeah.
fighters would appreciate that more, which I'm not sure if that goes into a vote system here, but I feel like it does.
I really wanted to say Injustice for All, but you fucked that up. Jimmy.
I based my answer off of Twitch. So
Okay.
which I think I remember seeing all 3 Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom, and Tekken.
Well, to your point, Injustice 2 has so much bigger. It's a bigger franchise, definitely than I think. Well, despite Tekken's history, Injustice probably outsold.
Yeah, but Tekken and Marvel vs. Capcom have their cult followings.
Yeah, but MVC Infinite has not been well received by
No.
critics. Like they changed way too much.
Right.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the Injustice DLC that just got announced.
No, but let's go ahead and mention it, Jake.
Yeah, we got Enchantress coming, the Atom's coming, and then I guess you can play as all 4 Ninja Turtles.
And Injustice 2.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Looks awesome.
Enchantress.
So just more props to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, WB.
Yeah, for pushing those characters in. All right, our next category, number 6, is Best Action Game. And returning nominee is Cuphead, Destiny 2, Neo, Prey, and Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Jake, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go with my heart on this one. And I didn't remember seeing this in any of the other voting categories. So if this game is ever gonna get anything, it's gonna be this. I really want Wolfenstein 2 to win.
Okay.
This. I really
I was
do.
gonna say I didn't know where you're going with that, but yeah, I agree. For as far as like action, like you gotta go Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
That's about as like eye orgasmic as it gets for action.
It's like only a story-based first-person shooter, which is
Right.
very rare. The
Yeah.
story is top-notch.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh, I went with Cuphead just because I really love that game as like an action platformer. I can't be beat.
I noticed that it's weird that there's Cuphead, Destiny 2, Prey, and Wolfenstein are all shooters. Mm-hmm. And Cuphead's a twist on a shooter, I guess.
It's weird, yeah.
But Neo was a third-person RPG, right?
Yeah.
And it was played like Dark Souls, kind of.
They kind of open up the action genre. It could mean so many things. Any game could be an action game besides like Tetris could be an
I don't
action
think
game.
they have a
Whatever.
first-person shooter category on here, like an FPS.
Oh.
It's kind of weird.
That's why
Yeah.
these games show up in this category.
Yeah.
My vote was also Wolfenstein 2. So we had, what, 1 Cuphead, 3 Wolfensteins?
Yep.
All right. Next category is Best Family Game. And for this, we have, the nominees are Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Sonic Mania, Splatoon 2, and Super Mario Odyssey.
Where's Just Dance 2018?
Yeah. Apparently it fell out of the Best Family category, maybe, or wasn't good enough.
I think a Switch game might take this one.
Because they're almost
They're
all,
all-
they're all
yeah.
Switch
Yeah.
games. These are all good games. Mm-hmm. Jake, your thoughts?
Well, this is the weird part because I don't know if they're gonna like. Yes, I'm voting for Super Mario Odyssey, but I don't know if like how literal they're gonna take family games. Like I don't know if like a whole family's gonna have fun playing multiplayer. Like that's not Odyssey.
Yeah, it's hard in some of these categories.
Yeah.
What
weird.
does it mean? Because like,
Right.
if you look at Mario Odyssey next to Mario Kart 8 and you
Yeah.
put it in the context
Yeah.
of this is for all the family to play together, like Mario Kart 8 probably wins.
Yeah.
But Mario Odyssey is a way better game.
I know. Like the only
Yeah.
reason I'm not picking Mario Kart 8 is because like it's just a rehash.
well, that
I'm,
you think.
I'm hoping they go with originality for this stuff.
Well, that I would think for family game, you got to think accessibility, right? Like for kids and parents to pick up. Like,
That's Mario Kart to a T.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I don't see Splatoon 2 kind of has a learning curve, but Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle definitely has a learning curve.
That's not
That's
a
not for
family
kids.
game.
No, like,
No.
that's a hard game.
Do they have an RTS like favorite RTS section in this?
Yeah,
They do.
strategy
Fast
game
RTS?
coming
Is
up.
that in here?
It's coming up shortly. Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
So you said Super Mario Odyssey, Jake?
I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really wanted to win something. So yeah.
Yeah, Brent?
I gotta do Mario Kart because they rehashed battle mode, and I think that's why it's gonna win it. Is because they fixed battle mode, and
Okay.
it's battle mode's actually fantastic. So I'm gonna go with Mario Kart.
Andy?
I had the same thought process Jake was having. I gave it to Odyssey too.
I went with Mario Kart because I feel like Mario Kart's outsold Odyssey at this point
Yeah,
because it's been in the market longer, obviously.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I think it's been more accessible for 2017 than more so than Odyssey has, and I'm basing it purely off that.
2 Odyssey, 2 Mario
Yeah.
Kart.
Yep.
All right. That being said, let's jump to our next category, and that is Best Multiplayer. Nominees are Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Splatoon 2.
Fortnite did not get rated well at all.
Well, but Fortnite came into the spotlight when PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds did what's that term for a certain multiplayer match? Battle Royale.
Yeah.
And then Fortnite stole it and made it better. Because
Oh,
PUBG did
okay.
it first, and then Fortnite came into the scene. Because PUBG had some bad press, saying that Fortnite stole their idea. People kind of jumped to Fortnite to play this Battle Royale, and it was really well received. That being said, that was just a whole controversy earlier this year.
it's like PUBG meets Minecraft.
Yeah.
If you don't know the premise of the game.
It's free to play, and
Yeah.
I believe it's also still in some kind of beta.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was out.
No,
Out,
it's
out.
still.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's still in beta.
That's 2 games we have that are not actually games.
I thought Fortnite came out.
I thought so too.
I mean, since we're talking about it now, I voted for it just because
For Fortnite?
as a multiplayer game. Yeah. Because I'm probably the only one here who's played it.
I've watched a lot of
assuming.
Twitch streamings.
Yeah, like I think it's
entertaining.
like PlayerUnknown's PUBG, I guess, but
Yeah.
I think it's better, so I just gave it the edge on
Yeah.
that.
Sure. Brent?
I have to give it to PUBG just because it's got such a ridiculous following, and people love that game.
That's where I'm going to. Just because 20 million people play it, the popularity alone is going to give it to PUBG.
Yeah,
And that's where I fell as well. I thought PUBG is riding a hype train. I think that hype train gets them through the rest of the year.
Yep.
So 3 for PUBG, Andy is on the board with Fortnite. We'll
I'm
see how
that
that goes
guy.
there. That's 3 categories now. We've had 3 versus 1, so the plot thickens. Let's jump to our category number 9, and that is best strategy game.
Have I been the one every time?
No, I was there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
you
the
were
first two was
one.
John.
Okay,
Yeah. All right, so the nominees for best strategy were Halo Wars 2, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Total War, Warhammer 2, Tooth and Tail, and XCOM 2 were the chosen. And I think it's fair to say we've only played one game on this list for the most of us,
Yep.
and I don't know if that's a category that it can take.
Yeah, I'm not giving it to it.
So, guys, thoughts?
Yeah, this is the category I really know nothing about besides rabbits, which is horrible of me to say. Just because like this is a hardcore genre, I think XCOM 2 is going to get it.
I wrote down Mario Rabbids just because that's the only one I played. But XCOM is like the cream of the crop right now.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Is War of the Chosen a DLC, or is that the name of the second?
Oh yeah, XCOM 2 came out on September 16th or 2016.
Fuck.
So War of the Chosen is an expansion.
Fuck. Okay, you need to say the categories again because
So we've got
DLC's not going to win it.
Halo Wars 2, Mario plus Rabbids, Total War, Warhammer 2, Tooth and Tail. Which what the fuck is that?
God, I really wanted to do XCOM 2. If DLC, I don't think DLC is going to win this category, so I guess I'm going to go with Total War.
I'll stick with Rabbids, whatever. I don't care.
Brent?
I wrote it down in pen, so I can't change it.
I don't know anything about Total War. I know a little bit about X. I'm going to stay with XCOM 2. Final answer.
It's got its following.
Final answer.
Brent?
I said XCOM 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy, you sticking with Rabbids?
Yeah, why not? Whatever.
I know, from my recollection, I know Warhammer 2 got really good reviews, but so did XCOM. And for this category, I'm just basing on reviews alone, so I'm going Total War, Warhammer 2. We'll see what happens there. All right, next category is Best Debut Indie Game, and that is category number 10 for us. And our nominees are Cuphead, Golf Story, Hollow Knight, Mr. Shifty, and Slime Rancher.
All right, here's another one.
yeah, this
3, 2, 1.
Cuphead!
Golf Story. I like Golf Story, but I voted for Cuphead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on.
This is a category where it is literally an honor to be nominated.
It seems
'Cause
obvious.
Cuphead's gonna win.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems obvious that Cuphead wins this one.
yeah.
First, all consensus game for Best Indie Debut.
Congrats,
Cuphead.
guys.
Yeah, we did it. All right, our next category, number 11, is Best Role-Playing Game. And our nominees are Divinity Original Sin 2, Final Fantasy 15,
Fuck that. Fuck that shitty game.
Nier
If any
Automata-
of you vote for Final Fantasy 15, I'll disown you. I'll walk out of the fucking room.
Nier Automata, Persona 5, and South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
This is between 2 for me.
This is Persona 5 by a landslide.
Yeah, of course.
For me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me too.
But you're going to vote
Well,
for
I knew
Divinity?
that.
Yeah.
That's what the other one was.
Yeah.
Divinity has its really good following, and it got really good reviews.
I'm probably going to buy Divinity.
I almost bought it,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to play it because I didn't know anyone else that played it. So I'm like, I don't want to play this by myself.
So what was your... So me and Jake are Persona 5. What are your guys' votes?
I'm going to give it to the Fractured But Whole. I think it's a
What?
complete... No, I'm giving it to Persona.
Okay, I was going to say.
Was Persona the one you played?
Yes.
That doesn't seem fair.
Okay, Persona 5 is going to win this
Yeah.
category.
I think so too.
I mean, no
Yeah.
no other game that came out this year can really touch it.
I don't see Divinity beating Persona
No.
5. I'm going to have to give it to Persona
Nope.
5 too.
Well, my dilemma was between Persona 5 and Nier, because I thought Nier just had... I haven't played it yet, but I played a little bit of it, but not enough to appreciate the role-playing
See,
aspect.
I don't think Nier Automata is on the level to win any awards.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't.
It didn't get that well. It didn't. I mean, it did all right.
It did, yeah.
ratings.
Yeah.
Just all right though.
But the game's so weird because it has like 6 different stories that are somehow correlated, but it's just a weird game. One of those games you had to play. But yes, we're all Persona 5 here?
Yeah.
It's got to win that.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
2 in a row? Dang.
Look at that.
I think this next one's going to break it. And that our next category is most anticipated game by voters. Us being the fans. People are going to
Ooh,
vote.
by voters.
Yeah, people are voting
Ooh,
in.
that might change things.
Yeah, so this is a fan vote. And I thought this would be a nice curveball into our categories here.
All right.
So the nominees are God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man,
Love that.
Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2, or The Last of Us Part 2. What is the audience most hyped for? Supposedly, I guess they're assuming 2018.
Yeah,
That's hard. That's really difficult.
like me myself. I kept on going back and forth between Last of Us 2
And Red Dead?
Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
And I just because I think I'm going to go with Red Dead 2 just because it's not an exclusive. It has like more of a reach.
Right?
Yeah. I think Red Dead 2 will get it.
Yeah. Ugh, God.
For myself personally, I voted Spider-Man. I think that's what I'm most excited for. But
Okay.
But it's exclusive, though, right?
That'd be number 2
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
at least Sony has a huge fan base that
Yeah.
Spider-Man could be easily voted in.
I could see Monster Hunter World getting this.
Could ya?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't.
Monster Hunter people are fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they are, but there's
Yeah.
not enough of them.
Yeah.
I think
There's way more Red
there's
Dead
a ton of
people.
them.
You think there's more?
Yeah.
You think there's more Spider-Man people than God of War people?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, like PlayStation has its branches out into 3 different games in this category. It's got God of
This
War,
one's
it's got
really
Spider-Man, it's got Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Red Dead has all the Xbox people.
Yeah, I forgot Last of Us is exclusive too.
I'm gonna officially give the shocker answer: Monster Hunter World. That's my locking it in.
Dang.
That's another PS4 exclusive.
lock
So
it in.
People are going ape shit about that at E3 too.
they are.
Why?
Yeah, no, they were. It was weird.
Monster Hunter?
Monster
Yeah.
Hunter.
I know nothing about Monster
I
Hunter.
had a sweet booth. Had like a giant dragon, right? That was pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
I have
Well, I
a
mean,
picture
it's
of it
been
still.
it's been locked on Nintendo consoles forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now it's like a really pretty Monster
I
Hunter on
just know that-
PS4.
yeah,
Yeah,
Monster
it's-
Hunter fans are rabid.
It's gorgeous,
So
too.
they're like, if any fan base like gets together to try to vote for something, it's gonna be Monster Hunter fans.
Sure.
I bet this does really well too. Monster Hunter.
No, I think it will.
So what's your vote,
Sure.
Brent?
I'm gonna go Red Dead just because it's been so long and they're doing such a freaking good job of hyping people up about it.
Yeah, no, every other game in this category is a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
This is the only one that isn't. I think it's Red Dead.
Yeah.
I'm with Red Dead 2, and for the fact that what you just said, and also just because I hold Red Dead Redemption 1 in such high regard in my mind, because it's such a good game, and I feel like there's a lot of people who are following that boat. So,
Yep.
all right, and our last category, and the most important, is Game of the Year. This is back to the judges and the 10% vote in for this category. And our nominees are Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Super Mario Odyssey, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. All great games in their own regard, maybe except for PUBG. We got a PS4 exclusive, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, a PS4 exclusive,
Yep.
PlayerUnknown's Battleground, which is locked to PC at this point.
It'll be coming to Xbox, but currently, yeah.
Yep. And then you got Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda, both Switch exclusives. And Wii
Zelda
U.
it came to Wii U.
If you played that version.
Some people did,
I know.
and then bought it again.
My first thought is it's got to be between Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
I'm surprised you're not picking Persona.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you there.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Persona. I'll tell you right now. I put more hours in Persona than any game on the rest of the any of this year.
I think this is gonna like give a very hard tell into what our personal game of the year is,
Yeah,
which is hard.
yeah. So for clarification, this is still we'll have our own Super Mario All Stars awards later.
We will.
At the end, more closer to the end of the year. But
Yeah.
going off the nominees, what do you think? If you're super into
This is so tough.
bragging, who wins this bet?
I'll give you a little bit of insight into how I think about this.
That's
We
fine.
got- okay. Citizen Kane, the Mona Lisa, Breath of the Wild. it's on par with those things.
Jesus
those
Christ.
things that are way better than Mario Odyssey. Like
So-
whatever. It's Zelda. There's no way. Okay. So personally, that's my preference. I
I
think
see that.
it's a piece of art.
So
Yeah.
to Andy's credit, when I look at this list too, Horizon Zero Dawn kind of introduced a kind of a new mechanic with hunting giant dinosaur monsters. I don't know how much that gameplay offers from different other kind of games.
Horizon's
Like
gonna
that.
get last place in the voting.
I know.
Yeah.
But Persona 5 is definitely still a Persona game.
Yeah.
It introduces some new elements, but still kind of sticks to the Persona format. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, like Brent said, it's been done before, but not to this degree. Then you got Super Mario Odyssey, which introduced some new Mario mechanics, but it's also still a great Mario game. Then you got Breath of the Wild, which keeps all your Zelda hardcore fans, but totally changes the formula. And people still love it for it. So to Andy's point, like I think this is the only game on the list that really did a 360 on how you interpret the genre.
For some insight on Kojima's judging this.
Yes.
He's one of the judges.
Well, there's a lot of judges.
Well, yeah,
he's
but
one.
I mean, he's one of them, and he said when Breath of the Wild came out, he said it was like the thing he's been playing. Like that's what he's obsessed with.
Yeah.
Just to give you a little insight. I don't think there's a way that Breath of the Wild is not Game of the Year for like 90% of, take this, take IGN, take GameStop, like all the outlets or whatever that give Game of the Year. Breath of the Wild wins 90% of them.
You think so?
I really think so.
I think, here's my thoughts. If you were to ask me back in April or May, my hype for Zelda Breath of the Wild was beyond max. And I haven't played it in a long time. I haven't even played the DLC that came out for it. And right now I'm on a Super Mario Odyssey high. And we talked about this not too long ago, but the recency bias,
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
where Odyssey still is so fresh in my mind
Yep.
and Zelda's been a time away from it. I'll go ahead and go next. And I feel like I'm taking a safe route here by saying Zelda.
You
think-
are,
I feel-
because it seems obvious,
Yeah.
right?
Right? Because it's
It's just a great game. It's perfect.
so that's
Love
2
it.
votes for Zelda. Got
Yeah.
Jake and Brent, where you at?
See, my heart and head
Honestly.
want to go 2 different ways.
Yep.
For sure.
I'm still fighting right now to which one I'm going to choose.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to give my personal opinion into this, but I honestly think there are more, like critic-wise, there are more fans of Zelda than Mario. I think critics will pick Breath of the Wild.
They have to. I really think they have to.
Like, this is a win-win for me because I
Yeah.
think this is going to win the point, but if Odyssey does win Game of the Year, I'll be super stoked.
Plus the conversation with Odyssey and Zelda Odyssey is still going on right now, but conversations around these games were so big. And how do you tell?
I just think like changing the game in a 3D platformer and changing the game in like an action adventure open world title.
Yeah.
I think people are going to take the open world title more seriously
Yeah,
than a 3D platformer.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right, Brent, so you can go with the majority here, or are you feeling something different?
I feel like I'm going to go back to Zelda, and I feel like I'm gonna overall have put more hours into it.
Zelda's the safe
Yeah.
answer to this.
It is,
is,
makes
but it's
you
also-
feel bad for giving a safe answer, but honestly, like
No,
I
it's the
agree with
Mona
it.
Lisa.
It's the Mona Lisa video game.
It's
But
not.
You
It's
can't
the top,
say,
top tier.
You also
No.
got to say it's probably. It's a safe answer, but it's also you can't say that's not well deserved.
I've enjoyed more hours of playing Breath of the Wild than I have looking at art, Jake. Okay, just gonna throw that out there.
So we're all in consensus for Breath of the Wild for Game of the Year 2017
Not by much, but yes.
for the Game Awards.
For the game, I
Jake,
think critics,
you feel so dirty. I can see it on your face.
I hate this. Yeah.
Really?
I feel like I just ratted out my best friend
You're
to
not
the
even
cops.
how many hours of Zelda did you put in? 18.
Not a lot.
See, and another thing is, like, people who weren't even Zelda fans, I think Zelda alone was not only a reason for them to buy a Switch, but to play a game they'd never played before, which was Zelda.
because of the conversation around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if like the Switch coming out wanted me to just have a game to play at day one, and Zelda was that game that was
definitely
out.
that's
I
definitely
think
a
if you-
point.
I think you flip flopped it. You put Odyssey as the opening. I don't think you would have sold as many Switches as
Well,
you
you're
did.
fucking crazy.
You're
fucking
agree with
crazy.
that, though, because there's hype around Odyssey, yeah, but the hype around Zelda was like next level. Like this, you need to buy this game now.
That being said, that was our predictions for Game of the Year awards coming December 7th. We will have our own votes to compare and tally up, and we'll have a winner for you in the gaming episode post that show. So that being said, guys, how do you feel about the 13 categories and where you're sitting?
I feel pretty solid.
Feeling good about it?
I really do. Yeah, I think I won this.
so?
Other than my
Yeah.
couple of picks that were kind of like out there, I feel okay about it.
I mean, but the majority of us, there was only actually like 3 different actual answers.
I know.
Yeah.
And I think the outliers I nailed.
a lot of these
So.
seem obvious.
Did any of you feel like you went out of your way, or do you feel like you played safe with these wagers?
Game of the year, I played safe.
Yeah,
I hate myself.
I put Fortnite for multiplayer, so that's my dog in the fight. That's my separator.
Fortnite's gonna lose it for you.
Of course it is. Yeah, I know.
All right, that being said, let's jump to the final portion of our show, and that is video game trivia. I'm going to toss it over to Brent Harris, our clip master, who's got some video game, some clips.
I like the hard
Yeah, what are you
P.
doing? Yeah.
Clip master. That is definitely a P on the end of that word.
Brent, we got 3 all-stars waiting for your first audio drop. What do you got for us?
All right, here we go. Clip number 1.
Kingdom Hearts.
Castle of Illusion, Mickey Mouse?
I know. I'm trying to pinpoint like generation of consoles this is on.
Yeah, it sounds hokey.
Sounds too modern for Super Nintendo.
But they can't. That
Is
sounds
this,
like a text bubble.
Like Monkey Island.
All right, I think it's time for some clues.
All right. 2013.
Oh,
The Cave.
No.
it's newer.
Wasn't
Ish.
expecting that. Oh, Costume Quest.
No. PS4, Xbox One, PC, PS3, PS Vita, Mac, Wii U.
All over the board. All right.
Action adventure survival.
Don't Starve.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Man,
Very good.
God, I hate that game.
Well done.
What was the premise of that game?
Just survive.
Don't Starve.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, it's like a
Then survive the
it's like
night.
a survival crafting thing.
All right, so Andy takes the first point with "Don't Starve." I never would have got that.
That's the first time I've ever gotten a point.
there you go. Hey,
Just wanna throw that out
congrats! All right, we're gonna drop clip number 2 on us.
Clip number 2.
I told you that wasn't a normal drop shoot.
Break his legs. Then take him
The
to
Getaway?
Lawrence.
Back up,
Mafia,
all of you.
Grand Theft Auto.
Stop. Loud noises draw them.
Left 4 Dead.
The Walking
The
Dead.
Last of Us. Loud noises draw them.
Fall back. Fall back.
The Order. Van Helsing. Resident Evil.
Silent Hill.
You have to move.
Jesus.
There's like familiar sounds
Yeah.
happening.
It sounds very zombie-esque.
2015.
Okay.
PS4, Xbox One, PC,
It's
and
like
Linux.
Metro.
Action adventure, first-person shooter, survival horror.
Oh my god.
It's not Resident Evil 7.
I
No.
can't think of
No.
the name of this stupid thing. I think I know what it is. Oh my god.
It's not The Darkness. Current gen.
Prey.
No.
Evil Within.
No.
Evil Within
That's
2.
not first person.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not, is it?
No.
Made by Techland.
Oh, fuck.
Produced by Warner Brothers.
Is this Dead Island?
Nope.
Fuck, Techland. I know. Oh, Dying Light.
Dying Light.
Nice. I totally forgot about that
Kind of
game,
like
too.
that forgotten survival game or
Yeah.
zombie game.
So Jake's on the board with 1 point. Andy's on the board with 1 point. Brent, will you take us into clip
up.
number 3?
Clip number 3.
Fuck.
Is this Fallout?
This is Bioshock Infinite.
Is this Dead Island? What the hell is
Psychonauts?
This is so weird.
Conquer?
What the fuck is this? Nothing's happening.
It's like funny. It's so funny.
Sounds like a rare game.
Is it Deadpool?
Shoot.
Cool.
2010. It's actually very hard to get a clip of this.
Why'd you pick it?
Well, because it's still good. Because there's
God.
actually specific sounds that I was hoping you guys would pick up on.
All right.
PS4, Xbox 360, the Switch, PC, PS Vita, Wii U, and Mac.
PS Vita.
Vita.
2010, and it got regressed for PS4. Okay.
It's a platformer.
Platformer
Bugsy?
Dum, bum, bum, bum,
got
bum,
re-released on the PS4.
This is going to be hard. Edmund McMillan.
Edmund McMillan.
This is 2010?
That sounds like a book publisher.
It's an indie game.
Is that fucking like? Oh god, what is the name of this game? Oh,
I believe in you, Andy.
I don't believe in myself. Do you have any other
my
clues?
God.
I do, but it'll give it it's a dead giveaway. So I'm gonna wait for Andy to
I'm not
think
gonna
here.
get it. Give a last clue.
A lot of splotching sounds produced by Team Meat.
Oh,
Meat
Super
Boy,
Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy.
Yeah. Whoever went
I
that.
said Super Meat Boy.
I said Meat Boy.
Yeah,
And he
that's
said
a
I don't have to be
title.
Specific. He said no specifics. I could
Yeah, but you didn't say Super Meat Boy.
straight up
You
say
said
Meat
Meat Boy. Meat Boy's not a game. Super Meat Boy is a game.
Commissioner.
What do you think?
You said Meat Boy for sure.
Yeah, I said Meat Boy.
He said Meat Boy, and I said Super
I
Meat
said
Boy,
Meat Boy.
which is the title of the game.
Brent doesn't want you.
This is bullshit.
Why don't we just do the tiebreaker?
We need a tiebreaker.
Between
All
Jake.
right.
All right, Brent, you got a tiebreaker for Jake and Andy.
I do.
I'm so pissed.
I'll spectate this
It's
round.
from a month ago.
It would be really hard to like say who wins because then one of us is gonna be pissed. Let's do the tiebreaker.
All right. Good luck with this one.
Great. This Star Trek bullshit. This
Star
Wing
Wars.
Commander. What the is this a PC nasty game? That's what it sounds like.
Hell is it?
This Crimson Skies.
No. Oh God.
What the fuck is this?
Why are you laughing so much?
I know.
Wolfenstein?
Medal of Honor.
No. Can't guess.
This sounds like some Captain America 1940s bullshit. What is it?
Ratchet and Clank.
I can't say.
Was
Very proud of yourself.
like I'd be surprised if you actually get the full title. 2007. It was only for the Wii and the DS.
Oh my god. Not what I was thinking. What the fuck?
Bum, 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 bum. Sega.
It's not House of the Dead Overkill.
No. Also,
Wait, Madhouse? No. Sega fucking games on
It's like
Wii.
Sega Tennis.
no, it is Sega,
Sega.
and Nintendo.
Vanquish?
Sonic and Mario Olympic Games.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, bitches!
You can have
I
that.
couldn't even get it out. Like, Sonic and Mario Olympic Games.
Wow.
What a horrible clip.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
My god.
That was terrible. I hate that. But I love that I won, baby.
I love that music
All right.
with that game.
Right?
Holy
So funny.
Jesus.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Andy takes away the win. Your first win on the podcast,
Yeah,
right?
first ever.
Congrats, bro.
bud.
It's gonna start a streak.
Did anybody play any Sonic Mario games?
Yeah, I have like 3 of them.
Are they good? There's mini games, right?
They're just mini games, yeah.
So Sonic Mario Party, essentially.
Worse.
But worse.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
without any of the joy or fun.
All right, that being said, that has been episode 21 of Super Media All-Stars. We have a lot of good stuff coming. We unboxed the BioShock 10th anniversary. We have a lot of Game of the Year Award stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Stay tuned for results of the official Game Awards that we did tonight. And then be sure to follow us on all kinds of social media. First one being Facebook at Super Media All-Stars. You can find us on Twitter at SmashPod. You can find us on Instagram at Super Media All-Stars. And most importantly, you can find us on YouTube at Super Media All-Stars. Please like and subscribe to all our services there. And speaking of content, Jake, you started a new video service / content for our YouTube channel.
A new type of video for our YouTube channel. It's the series is called Searching For. The first one I did is Searching for Steelbooks. I did it in Best Buy, just looking all over for some steelbooks I didn't have and that were cheap and that I wanted. And yeah, you can see how that went over on YouTube.
Yep, cool stuff there. Be sure to listen in on TuneIn if you prefer internet radio. Be sure to like us on podcast services. Be sure to like and subscribe there as well. Guys, I thank you for joining me tonight. Audience, we will see you next time.
For you.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye bye.
I am out of here.